G'day Bomber fans, just like that, 2 listed players are set to leave the club, or in this case, Jaiden Hunter has already returned home. The club announced yesterday that they would not be offering him a new contract. He becomes the first SNN player of 2024 to be delisted. Unfortunate news, delistings are never ideal, even if they make sense and are required list changes. It's never something to be happy about, but I guess we're going to talk about it today and highlight some other changes that we've made at the club in the last week or so. Alrighty, so Jaiden Hunter, our mid-season draftee from 2023, we brought him across from WA after some really impressive waffle performances. He made an instant impact as a key forward in our reserves team, kicking 4 goals in his second game. Unfortunately, a stress fracture sidelined him for the remainder of the 2023 season, meaning he only played 2 games for the club before being put on the injury list. And it should be noted, he's always been an injury-prone player. Knee reconstructions really plagued him before his leap into the big leagues. He managed to overcome that stress fracture and train with us in the 2024 pre-season. He looked good from all accounts and from what I saw. Unfortunately, though, his body would let him down again. He would go down at training clutching his knee, and of course it just had to be another ACL injury. His third, I believe. So he spent the whole of season 2024 on the sidelines. And I said at the start of the year, though I said when he did his ACL again, that he would likely not receive a contract. He was given that 1-year extension last year despite the stress fracture, but another injury was never going to go well for his hopes of a further extension, and those hopes were completely and utterly dashed when it was revealed recently that he would yet again need surgery, this time for a back issue. He's already headed back home to WA to undergo surgery closer to home, around his friends and family. His last day at the club has already passed. He will leave the Bombers having played just 2 VFL matches and having had 3 separate injury issues in that time. Jaiden Hunter was obviously a very talented player. He's on an AFL list, you have to be. And with a good body, he could have easily been a pretty good key forward for us. The potential was there. We saw it in that game. But unfortunately, Hunter was just far too injury prone. He still is, obviously. His body didn't want him to play AFL footy. He's just 22 years old and he's already had a few knee reconstructions. He's battled stress fractures. He has a new back issue. It's too much for a young man to deal with. He's actually taking a break away from footy for a while to get his body right. I hope he does. I hope he makes his way onto an AFL list somehow again. A little redemption arc. But unfortunately, Essendon just had to part ways with him. I know many wanted to see what he could do, but I doubt we would have ever gotten to that stage. His body just, unfortunately, isn't cut out for AFL footy. And that is what Andrew McPherson, our general manager, said in his little statement that was released. His body let him down. He will just be another forgotten Bomber who could have made an impact if his body let him, but we will never know. There's been a few of those over the years, though. So this now means we have made 2 list changes. Heppel has retired and Hunter has been delisted. If we look at previous seasons, let's look at last year, we made 11 list changes, excluding trades. That becomes 9. We delisted 8 players last year. Now, that was due to an influx of trades, but it's fair to assume we delist a further 4 or 5 or 6 players after Hunter. So attention now turns to guys like Tex Wangadeen, Sam Wiedemann, who plays tonight, Kane Baldwin, who like Hunter has had plenty of injury problems. We have over 10 players still without a contract. I think just under half of them are delisted. Going to be some unlucky players, but it's a brutal industry. Usually the first batch of delistings are announced after the season, so expect to see guys like Wangadeen named in that batch. We'll see though. Many thought Menzies would be under pressure, but he managed to receive a new deal. You never really know, but there are definitely some that are feeling the heat more than others. Let me know down below, what do you think? Who do you think exits the club? I might make a video on that next week actually, because who knows, Sam Wiedemann might come out and give a best on ground performance down back against the Swans, warrant a new deal. You never really know what's going to happen until it does. Alrighty, in other news, Jai Caldwell has signed a new 4-year deal with the club. Awesome news and a great reward for a guy who's really improved out of sight. He's now one of our best players in the team. Lewis Hayes and Nick Cox have both signed 2-year deals. Hayes is getting closer to playing. He's a tall, skinny key defender, still not quite there, which is why Wiedemann was selected to face the Swans instead. Nick Cox, much has been made about him in the last few days. Pretty ridiculous, to be honest. I get being critical, but it's borderline abuse, some of the stuff he's copying online. The guy's a key positional player, still early 20s. They take time to develop. I do think, though, this next contract is a big one for his future. You get the feeling he really has to start showing something in the next couple of years. Saad El Hawley, our mid-season recruit, this year signed a 1-year deal like Hunter did at the end of last year. So he has 2025 to prove himself as a player. And of course, most recently, Kevin Sheedy has stepped down from the board. Really, I think it's fair. Sheedy was great for the club when he coached and has really made us more relevant than we should be. But I think, like with Heppel, it was his time to call it quits. That's about it for news, though. Quick video, really an update more than anything. All the best to Jaiden Hunter and his future. Hopefully he can get back to the top level somewhere or find success in another industry. Either way, cheers for donning the sash, Jaiden. It was fun while it lasted. For you, probably not so much, I reckon, but I did enjoy that VFL AFL performance. There was a bit of hope for a second there, but that's all for now though. Cheers for watching, guys. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you tonight at the game, and go Bombers.